and welcome back. I'm Wise Witch Withers here because today, July 13th, Saturn Retrograde begins. I know we just talked about Neptune retrograde. I know that Mercury retrograde is coming up, but Saturn retrograde started today and it is in full force, you guys. We have a lot to talk about today. So this is going to be a really powerful period for karmic reflection, your soul level accountability, and a spiritual restructuring. Now, Saturn is a planet known for discipline, time, creation of boundaries, and your life lessons. But the retrograde means its energy turns inward. So it's inviting us to revisit things, review things, and refine things in our life. How we align with responsibility and integrity. Now, there are 6 themes associated with the Saturn retrograde. The first is a big one. It's karmic reckoning. So that means that you may be facing consequences for some past actions, but it's both good and bad. This is not about punishment, you guys, but it's about justice and alignment for your soul's truth. So keep that in mind, karmic reckoning. Second theme, reevaluation of commitments. Think about, where are you over or under committed? Saturn is asking you, are you honoring your soul contracts or are you betraying them? Something to ponder. Reevaluation of your commitments. Third theme, inner authority and boundaries. So Saturn is telling us we need to reclaim our power by setting healthy boundaries. Who has a problem? Raise your hand with setting healthy boundaries. I know that's hard to do sometimes, but you've got to. You've got to in order to reclaim your power, and Saturn is going to force your hand and make you set those healthy boundaries. It's also going to have you stop seeking validation externally and step into your own inner mastery. That goes back to your soul's truth in the karmic reckoning. So inner authority and boundaries. The fourth theme of this retrograde, maturity of the soul. Maturity of the soul. This retrograde can feel really heavy. So if you weren't already feeling the effects of the the full buck moon on the 10th, you are definitely probably starting to feel something with this retrograde today. But it's meant to mature you spiritually. So even though it can feel heavy, it's here to help you spiritually. It pushes you to grow up, take ownership, and make those decisions based on long-term alignment rather than your short-term desire. So big picture. We've got to look at the big picture when making decisions and not get caught up not being able to see the forest for the trees. So maturity of the soul. 5, the 5th theme. So much, you guys. Saturn retrograde is bringing so much in, but this one is all about time and divine timing. You're going to become more aware of timing, both earthly time and divine timing. Here's the important piece of this, though. What's meant for you will not pass you by. Let me say that again. What's meant for you will not pass you by. Saturn makes sure it only arrives when you are truly ready. So if you're feeling stuck, know that Saturn is going to make sure that what's meant for you arrives when you're truly ready for it. Time and divine timing. Now, the 6th and final theme of the Saturn retrograde, and you're probably like, oh my gosh, It's too many. It's enough. But shadow work, and this is another big one, shadow work. The retrograde really digs into the spiritual shadows, your fears of failure, your scarcity mindset, your fears of rejection, your feelings of unworthiness. Retrograde is really challenging you to face these parts of yourself with discipline and compassion. Can you guys do that? Can you face those parts of yourself with discipline and compassion and do that shadow work during this retrograde period? You're probably wondering, how long is this going to last? This is a lot of stuff, right? It's going to last a long time. So it started today, July 13th, and it lasts until November 27th. So Saturn is in retrograde for 4 months, 4.5 months. All right, we're going to see what the cards have to say with a special Saturn retrograde spread. But first, as always, we're going to bless the cards. I've got salt here for salt of the earth. I've got mugwort burning for air. I've got a candle burning for fire. And I've got Capricorn full buck moon water that I'm going to use for my water element. If I can get this jar open. I ask the 4 elements to be present as we bless this oracle deck and dedicate it to our intentions. I ask the 4 elements to be present as I bless this oracle deck and dedicate it to our intentions. I ask the 4 elements to be present as I bless this oracle deck and dedicate it to our intentions. So mote it be. 3 times 3 times 3. Earth, bless this deck with wisdom. Air, bless this deck with clear communication. Fire, bless this deck with inspiration. Water, bless this deck with insight. I'm grounding to the earth, and I am visualizing the rings of Saturn moving slowly around me. I would like you to visualize Saturn's rings spinning gently around you as I open this oracle reading. Ancient Saturn, keeper of time, reveal the truth in rhythm and rhyme. With sacred cards, my soul I see. Unveil what's bound and set it free. By wisdom, structure, lessons deep, awaken what my soul must keep. Right. How are we feeling out there, guys? Are we feeling the energy? Are we grounded to the earth? Do we visualize Saturn's rings circling gently around us? It is now time for me to shuffle the cards and see what pops up. We're gonna do a 6-card spread that matches up with the themes of the retrograde. So we're kind of gonna dig in deeper to these themes and see what they have to say. First card is Sage, which is wisdom, purification, and harmony. Wisdom, purification, and harmony. Let's see what we get next. buds, new beginnings and expansion. Next up is walking staff, support and encouragement. All right, they fell, but they didn't flip, so we're gonna keep shuffling. The autumn card, which means bounty and balance. We need two more cards, and I think they just fell on the floor. Let me reach down and grab those. All right, we've got broom, which is energy clearing and freshening, and bird, which is freedom and opportunity. Okay, now the first card, sage, wisdom, purification, and harmony. Wisdom, purification, and harmony. The question we're asking, what is this card about? The karmic pattern you're meant to break. So the question we're asking with this card is, what outdated behavior or belief has cycled through lifetimes that I'm ready to release? So this is the karmic pattern you are meant to break. Sage is all about cleansing and purification. I may have told you already, I recently learned that sage actually kills bacteria in the air. So it is a true cleansing and purifying herb. It's asking the question, what outdated behavior or belief has cycled through lifetimes that I'm ready to release? So this card reminds you that insight can appear from unlikely sources. Being in harmony with your environment allows you to receive messages and act on them more easily than if you are living in discord. Listening can bring balance, and purification can remove obstacles that further cloud that exchange of information and communication. What may not make sense right now might fall into place later. So don't be so quick to dismiss advice that doesn't make sense immediately. You guys have got to remain open and the wisdom will come to you. So your outdated behavior or belief that has cycled through lifetimes that you're ready to release is being out of balance. You've been out of balance, and this card is telling you it is time to release that. It is time to get your life in balance and break that pattern of being out of balance. And the sage can help you get there. It can bring your life into balance and harmony. So using sage as a cleansing and purification herb can help. Next, the lesson your soul is integrating. The lesson your soul is integrating. We drew the buds card. The buds card. Now the buds card is all about new beginnings and expansion. Look at that, how pretty those flower buds are. I love flowers, they make me so happy. Buds, new beginnings and expansions. So this is asking you the question, think about this. What deeper spiritual understanding am I meant to embody? What deeper spiritual understanding am I meant to embody? This buds card shows you can interpret the success of this first stage as a positive sign, but don't assume that you can handle the next stages on your own. So buds represent the first checkpoint in a project. Things are expanding but not complete. Continue to tend and encourage them. Without buds, there can be no fruit. Without doing the foundation work for your project, you will not reap the fruits of your labor. Have confidence. The success of your first stage promises that you can achieve your goal. So lay that foundation and your goal will be forthcoming. So what deeper spiritual understanding am I meant to embody? You are meant to embody the understanding of foundational work. So that is the deeper spiritual understanding you're meant to embody. Foundational work. The new beginnings and expansion of buds. If you don't lay that first foundation and take care of the buds, they're not going to bear fruit. And nothing you do in life will bear fruit if you don't lay that foundation and get that help. Which leads to our third card, the walking staff, which is all about support and encouragement, asking for help. These buds can't be left untended. You're gonna need help, is what this is telling you, to tend to the buds. You're gonna need help laying that foundation. That's what these cards are telling you. So what is this card representing? It's representing where you've abandoned your inner authority. So it's asking you, in what area of my life have I been giving away my power, time, or truth? And the walking staff is saying you've been giving it away because you are not asking for help. Now, raise your hand if you have a hard time asking for help. I know a lot of us out there do have a hard time asking for help, and that's okay. But when it starts to take your power, when it starts to take your time, when it starts to take your truth, that is when you know that you've got to ask for help. Some part of your life, that's what this card is telling you, needs more support, something to lean on, something to help you focus your efforts. So don't let your fear of asking for help or your pride over asking for help get in the way, because it is draining your power. It is eating your time. It is eroding your truth. The 4 card, we got autumn. Look at that, beautiful. I love autumn. The fall weather, getting to wear boots and cute sweaters. Autumn represents bounty and balance. Bounty and balance. And it's the card in how it pertains to the Saturn retrograde is talking about the shadow you must face with maturity. The shadow you must face with maturity. And it's asking you what fear, guilt, or limitation is being exposed for healing. The autumn card is reminding you once again that balance is important. Whatever it means, balancing work with appreciation for the harvest or balancing intake and output of energy. Don't overtax yourself. Remember to refuel in times of hard work. So this autumn card is going in tandem with that sage card. So it's telling you, remember, don't forget, you've got to stay in balance. And your fear of asking for help is limiting you and exposing you, and is now a time for healing. The broom card, we drew the broom card, and it represents energy clearing and freshening. Energy clearing and freshening. Look at that cute little witch's broom. I need a broom. Mine is not nearly as cute as that. So this card is talking about a spiritual structure you need to build as it pertains to the Saturn retrograde. It's asking you, what new habit, boundary, or commitment will support my soul's long-term growth? What new habit, boundary, or commitment will support my soul's long-term growth? The broom. So the broom is telling us that without any debris in your way, your mind and magic will function more efficiently. With intention, use the broom to stir up stale energy. Sweep away negative or unsupportive energy. Create a space that is ready for your individual needs. You can do this, like physically do this with an actual broom and set your intentions, do a quick visualization and a quick cleaning of your magical space. Or you can do it mentally by envisioning what doesn't serve you being swept away. So when we ask what new habit, boundary, or commitment will support my soul's long-term growth, it's an energy clearing. It's a freshening by the broom that's going to support your soul's long-term growth. So you need to clear things out, freshens things up, get that stale energy out of your life that's making you feel stuck. Brush away those musty emotions and patterns, okay? And the bird card representing freedom and opportunity. Look at all the birds on that card. There's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 birds on the card. Beautiful. Freedom and opportunity. Now, as it pertains to the Saturn retrograde, what your higher self wants you to know. That's what this card is about. What your higher self wants you to know. Now it's asking the question, what guidance does my most aligned, timeless self offer me now? What guidance does my most aligned, timeless self offer me now? Birds are a symbol of freedom in many cultures, and they tell us that we too can soar. So, finding a balance between soaring and birds that are tied to a food source in a specific region, so they're interconnected with the local land and its energies, can be challenging. Migration, another challenge. So there's kind of an element of sacrifice involved in leaving the known and familiar and trusting your intuition to get you where you need to be. So what this card, what it boils down to, what it's telling you is that a new opportunity is close by. You've got to lift your head past your current focus and look around for it. You need a bird's eye view to reveal something you might otherwise not have known about. New opportunities are on the horizon. So what guidance does my most aligned, timeless self offer me now? Lift your head. Take a look around. Find the opportunity that you need to lay the foundation for. Don't be afraid to ask for help laying that foundation. And remember to use your sage and remain balanced. Find that balance, that harmony in your life. And using sage can help you do that. We're going to sweep away and cleanse what doesn't serve us any longer. And by doing all of this, we're going to uncover a new opportunity. So the retrograde has got a lot in store for you, and it's asking a lot of you. But I have faith in all of you and know that you can do it. Saturn's truth I now embrace. With steady heart, I hold my place. Lessons heard and shadows shown, I walk the path that I have sown. Time is mine, my soul aligned, the past released, the future mine. Thank you, God. Thank you, Saturn. Thank you, Earth, for this reading and the enlightenment you bestowed upon us today. Thank you all for being here. Don't forget to subscribe and like my posts. Give me some interactions. Subscribe so you don't miss any content. And don't forget to check out the Neptune retrograde posting. I will put it in the corner up here so that you can see what's going on with the Neptune retrograde right now as well, just in case you missed it. Thanks so much. I'm Wise Witch Withers. I'll see you next time.